Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
God, and
Good morning,
this
everyone. Yeah.
is the Motivator Show alongside Lady Chelsea.
Oh wow.
How are you,
Can
Lady
I'm
Chelsea?
good, thank you. How are you?
I'm so vibrant. I observed a beautiful sunrise this
Yeah, that's
morning.
beautiful. Yeah.
It was red, deep red, and it turned orange. And now the power of the sun is shining upon me. Oh, I feel so good this morning. Oh,
It's a
praise
bright
God.
day. Yeah.
Rastafari. How are you
hmm
feeling?
I'm
Come
good.
on.
I'm good. I'm happy it's bright. I was getting sick of the darkness. I'm
Oh,
happy
you're a
it's
bit
nice
faint,
and
but it's
bright.
okay. You've got to
I'll,
talk up.
I'll talk
Oh,
up.
I,
Sorry.
I feel the energy. I feel the energy. Oh, I feel so good this morning. Let's give praise, of course,
Yeah.
to first of all, Ian King, that stalwart who ensured that from early morning, when I say early morning, I mean 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
or the dead of night, as some would say, to the bright of day, he successfully led the station from 1 o'clock in the morning right through to 8 o'clock. I want to give praise to him,
hmm
recognition for such dedication, you know? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
For no personal financial gain. He's here every week. Let's give praise to Ian King.
hmm
Thank you, Ian King, for leading us this way. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Also give praise, of course, to the Galaxy management, those visionary members of the African communities. Visionary members who not only speak the talk, but walk the talk. Yeah? Translate words into action. So we have this wonderful station. Give praise to Chief Pakamba Bai, Elder Eric Kruti, Abu Ratata, and of course the Empress Shanice. Let's give praise to them for their visionary work and determination. The African communities here in Britain should have our own platform upon which we will express ourselves as we wish. Let's give praise to them. Yeah. Yeah. It's an
Yeah.
heirloom, a legacy for the next generation. Huh? Oh, Lady Chelsea, huh? There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It is so wonderful, so wonderful. And of course, so critically that we always remember. I'm reminded of an interview I conducted with Ndidi. You recall that visionary Nigerian who spoke about the issues that affect that country. And it was important, she noted, it's not Africa's natural minerals, materials that matter, it's the technology that comes from that natural resources, natural materials. Yeah, it's a technology. That is where the wealth is. So I want to give praise to the engineers who's ensured that this station can continue as it is today. I give praise to the engineers, to the
Yeah.
Galaxy engineers who've ensured that we've adapted to the new technologies that allow us to communicate, not only here in Britain, but worldwide. And of course, this program is being transmitted not only via internet radio, also now being transmitted via Facebook and YouTube. Just do a search for the Motivator Show on Facebook or the Motivator Show on YouTube, and you'll find us live transmitting. And in fact, you can see my face, but more importantly, you can see Lady Chelsea.
Oh no.
Oh, the wonders of modern technology. And that's where the wealth is. And that's where we need to direct our children in using our natural resources and using that as the basis to develop new technological advances. I give praise to the Galaxy management. I give praise to the engineers, the technicians who keep this station on the road. Thank you very much, all of you. I also now must also recognize, as is usual this time, recognize the health question. It has been a consistent part of this show that I remind those who are listening, and I want you to tell your family, your friends, your neighbors and others these health messages. Remember to consider the amount of salt and sugars you are ingesting. Yeah. Remember the amount of fat and carbohydrates and meat you are ingesting. Remember that too much of those items are not good for your physical health. It's so important for us to continue to improve the amount of fruits and vegetables that we ingest on a daily basis. It's so important for us to remember that water is critical to our health and general well-being, and not having enough water leads to long-term illnesses. Yeah? At least 2, if not 3 liters per day is the recommended amount. You adjust it as is required. Remember, good mental and spiritual health is a foundation to a people's broad general health. Remember to take time out ever so often to allow the cares and worries of the day just to wash over you, huh? I can see you washing over you, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah.
Let it wash over you. Come on. Let it wash over you. And just allow ourselves those moments where we just settle. We're just able to be calm and settled. Not allow the worries to bother us any longer. And those times are so important. Daily practice meditation. Yeah? And allow all the worries to flow away so that you can come to terms with who we are, what we are, and where we're going. Wow. Oh, I feel relaxed already.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Come on. Oh, I can see the sun is shining. I can see the sun shining. Oh, the energy, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's hear your voice, Lady Chelsea. You're a bit quiet this morning. Come on. Project your voice. Come on.
Right.
Let's feel the energy. Come on.
No, I'm good. I need to catch up with you a little bit, but no, I am happy. It's coming. It's coming. I'm happy.
Oh, we're going to do something about your volume, though. We're going to do something about your volume. Okay, but never mind. It's okay. It's okay. Let's go. Let's keep moving on. Okay. Oh, much better.
Yeah.
Oh, that was much, whatever you just did. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There you are.
Cool.
So let me also add something here. That I spoke earlier this week to Dor Nana.
Yes. Yeah.
She's, of course, an authentic voice of our ancestors, someone able to relate to us the experience of living in Britain in the 40s. Huh? Can you imagine the 40s?
Yeah.
The 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 20s, right up to today. She has a very clear memory.
Yeah.
I spoke to her earlier this week. She's had her immunization. Okay. She did report in the first week that arm was a bit sore, but apparently it was where the injection was put in, apparently. That's what caused it, apparently. But as of yesterday, she feels fantastic.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, your voice is much better now. Oh, gosh.
Okay. Good. Okay, good.
She feels fantastic, and the energy that projects from her is truly overwhelming. It's always a pleasure to interact with someone with that length of memory, but yet full of vigor. Full of vigor. I would say to Dor Nana, praise Jah, Rastafari. Long may you continue to remain as vigorous and as wise as you are today. Absolutely. I just want to say that because, gosh, Dor Nana is such a special person.
Yeah, I remember
Truly
her.
a special person.
Yeah.
I also, of course, want to give praise to past contributors to the show. Of course, you know I've got a soft spot for this young man. I want to give praise to our young contributor, Malachi Sarut. Yeah, at 14, has written his first book.
Yeah.
Okay. It is available via Amazon, but I'm recommending that those of you who are listening to us not go directly to Amazon, okay? Because I've become aware of a online bookstore called the Education Network.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Buddy Dingo, yeah. And he, through that online bookstore, as an area dedicated to Black or African authors. And he has hundreds of them listed there.
Yeah.
Hundreds. The Education Network. Google it and it will come up. It will come up. And those of you who received the promotion of this show will already have been receiving the link to the Education Network. Okay. And you'll see the link, and you can therefore purchase our young son Malachi's book. And of course, the book title, and those of you who've forgotten, let me remind you, it is Tutankhamun, the Adventures of the Boy King. Yeah. It is a book to behold. And I know that, Lady Chelsea, that we're going to run the competition again.
We are, yes.
Until we can persuade parents who are listening this today to encourage their sons and daughters to listen.
Yeah.
And win a copy of the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
It'll be really important. And I will obtain Malachi's signature. So it'll be a signed copy by the author of his book.
Yeah.
And I will continue to give promotion to our children's successors. The whole purpose of me being here, we being here, is to pave the way for the next generation.
Yeah.
And to contradict the narrative we often hear on mainstream communication platforms, which seeks to dismiss, downgrade, or not give attention to our children's achievements.
Yeah.
Here in this platform, we will absolutely give promotion to our children's achievements. Okay.
Yeah.
So, young Malachi, I say to you, well done. So I'll repeat the title of the book. So it's Tutankhamun, The Tales of the Adventurous Boy King. I am truly proud of him. And I want to say a special mention for his mother, Sister Segnet. Again, at this point, it's the affirmations necessary. Praise Jah, Rastafari to you. Because it's your guidance, your inspiration, your energy that your son has absorbed and is manifesting in his works. Yeah, it is inspired parents that will produce inspired children. Inspired parents who will produce inspired children. Be no doubt about that. It is our responsibility as parents to inspire, to give the time necessary for the personal growth of our children. Yeah? So we have it in us to ensure that they receive the best possible education. And I recall when Malachi's mother, Sister Segnet, discussed with us why she homeschooled her son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand, and I completely understand. She wanted to ensure that she received the best possible service from local schools.
Yeah.
And while she was in doubt of that, it was appropriate for her son to be taught by a loving teacher.
Yeah.
Herself. Yeah. And nothing can beat love, huh? Nothing can beat love. Yeah. Love conquers all.
Mm-hmm.
I know for some parents that's not possible, but gosh, even if that's not possible, we've got to demand the best possible education for our children. And where you see a school which is underperforming, challenge those schools that they should perform well, because not to challenge them will allow them to get away with mediocre or below average performance.
Yeah.
It is parents' power, that will transform schools. Okay.
Yeah.
And parent power not only means that you seek to transform schools as consumers, in other words, send your sons and daughters to the schools, get involved in the life and times of those schools. All schools are board of governors. Seek to become governors of your child's schools. It is mission critical. If we don't ensure our children have good education, it undermines their economic and social value. And you have to spend years catching up on what should have happened in schools. So it's so vital, critical that we ensure, if we give our children this one thing, love, of course, is essential, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
A good education is a gift once given, they would take to their graves. I would encourage parents to be proactive at all times when it comes to their children's education. And if in doubt, seek advice. And I'm always here to give advice, because I came into public life as a school governor. I won't go through my experience, but let's be assured, I'll be more than happy to give advice or guidance or signpost where it's necessary for a parent who's concerned about the quality of education that the local school is performing. Okay? Parent power. We have the power to define. Okay, I just want to say that and keep emphasizing that, because it's such an important issue. And that it was a wonderful family. I spent slightly longer with our son Malachi's book and his achievements and his mother, because I want to continue to encourage parents or guardians of children who have performed or has achieved. I don't mind what the achievement is. Between the hours of 8:30 and 9 o'clock, we'll be dedicating to our children's achievement, and that will be led by Lady Chelsea. And of course, she'll discuss with you soon the questions that have been laid before us by young Malachi. Okay. So I've mentioned that, and that's really good. Okay. But I also want to keep recording past contributors. Last week I mentioned Sister Chell. Okay. That wonderful sister who gives so much of herself for no personal gain. We will make sure she's able to visit Ghana, all being well, later this year. That's one of her lifetime's achievements, to visit Africa, to visit ancestral homes, to be a part and feel the soil. We're going to make sure that happens. But I also want to mention a previous contributor.
Okay.
And I wonder if listeners can recall Princess Musa. Yeah, wonder if you could recall a Fulani princess. Okay, or indeed they refer to it being the Queen of the North. Okay.
Oh wow!
Indeed. And I need to get her back on. There are discussions we need to have.
Okay.
But let it suffice to say that I found that to be one of the most truly engaging interviews I'd ever conducted. Okay. And I'm in the throes of setting up a separate website that will allow listeners to download or indeed listen to my our past shows, okay? And it should be available by next week. I think I may have said this week, but next week. It was one of the most really, truly engaging shows. And I want to thank her for her contribution. And I've noted there's some other work she's been involved in since then, but it's all centered around creating unity in that country, okay? It's currently going through some growing pains. And I keep reminding people that Nigeria, just like most of the Caribbean, have only recently become independent.
Yeah,
they're
true.
babies in the block. Britain has been Britain for 1,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
America has been America for what, 400 years?
I think so, yeah.
Russia has been Russia for, again, nearly 1,000 years or more. Germany has been Germany for nearly 1,000 plus years. So these countries in the Caribbean and, of course, continent of Africa, which were created by foreign powers, are simply babes in the wood. So we should expect, as was the case in Britain, you know, there's once upon a time numerous kings and local chieftains in Britain. We now have one monarch. As a result of many, many wars. Similar process occurred in Germany. Similar process occurred in United States of America. Remember, it was a British colony. Remember? 1776. We all taught that at school. Remember? Important lesson. They had to go to war with the British to gain independence. And even then, we still had the differences between the southern states and the northern states.
Exactly.
So to have tensions in Nigeria today, if I may say so, is what you'd expect. For what is a babe in the woods.
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay. So I will not. I refuse to say to people that this is not good. You know, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that Nigerians, African peoples there, have the ability to shine, to project. They have the ability to resolve the problem for themselves. So, of course, Galaxy Radio is, of course, the only de-brainwashing station. And there are some people here who are not yet familiar with the Galaxy Radio website. Let me just recite it. It is Galaxy Afiwe. And let me spell the Afiwe, because some people, but I see if everyone can understand Jamaican study, you know. But anyway, here we go. So Galaxy, I'm sure you can spell that, but I'll spell it anyway. It's www.galaxy, Galaxy, Afiwe, AFIWE.com. Please go to our website and see the great works that Galaxy Radio is involved in. Okay, this is a great station. Okay, and of course, led by inspired management. And I know that even the management here can overcome all the challenges that managing a station like Galaxy does in tell times. You know, I'm confident that can happen. So I trust our abilities. I really do. Okay. All right. So again, we've been streamed on Facebook. If you put in Facebook, The Motivator Show, and on YouTube, again, look for The Motivator Show. Or put in Google and put those word sequences, and you'll go straight to the live transmission. And for others here who are in receipt of our media, you just press the link, and it should be automatic. Okay. Let me also say to you, we held a marathon health show. Okay, I didn't have the opportunity last week. A marathon health show. It was and remains a truly inspired experience. I think you would agree.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
And there are many lessons from that show which we've taken away from. One, that the the range of solutions to even the current pandemic are considerable, is considerable.
Yeah.
We gave light to African herbalists and medical practitioners. Okay. And we're able to speak to practitioners from across the continent and here in Britain. Okay. And I found that it is quite often the case that there's much more to be said. Much more to be said.
Yeah, always.
I'm given an undertaking that we will organize an international conference of African medical practitioners and herbalists. And those of you who are listening who wish to be a part of organizing that event, please contact us via the studio number. And I'll give out the studio number, which is 0203 885 2179. And of course, you enter the PIN, which is 399 57 277 16, followed by the ash sign. Okay. Again, if you're in receipt of our media, you'll see that. And some of these details will be on the Galaxy website. And next week, we should have our own website. It'll be there as well. I'll give out the URL. Okay, so that'll be a significant step forward. We will organize an international conference to give promotion and also to begin to set standards for African herbalists and African medical practitioners. Because Africa, being possessing the civilizations, the longest human civilization, has solutions to all medical conditions that currently befall human beings worldwide, being the cradle of humanity. And we're not the cradle for humanity for no good reason. Because clearly, we've been around for a long time. And much of what we see today, we've seen before, you know? It's there in our genealogy. Okay? And through the practitioners, we remember how to resolve these viruses, these germs, those maladies that affect the human physiology, and of course, affects our mind. We know how to heal ourselves. We just got to believe that is the case, so we remember that which we know to be true. I say that with real emphasis because we have the solutions ourselves. We don't need to rely upon other people. Confidence that we have those solutions is such that we must project the energy for those who are listening to have the confidence to come together so we will solve our problems together. Okay, praise God. Praise God. Now it's 1:30, so I'm going to hand over to Lady Chelsea, and she can describe a little more what we're going to do for this half an hour for young people. Go ahead, Lady Chelsea.
So hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I just
you wanted to speak up, of course. Keep speaking up.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, is this good? I'll try and project. Everyone else is sleeping, but I'll try. Right. Hi, everyone. The last 2 weeks, if you've been listening in, have really been, for me, I hope for everyone else, a really enlightening experience. We first 2 weeks ago, I believe now, had Malachi and his mother come on the show and tell us their experiences of homeschooling and what they did, how they did it. If you were listening there, you could just see how amazing both Malachi and his mother, because his mother that is pushing this and wanting this and the ideas and concepts and coming forward with this new forms of education, and has produced such a confident, high achieving young man. And you just feel the love. I really, really love that interview. I think it's my favorite show that I've done. Just because of just the love. It was just beautiful to see, and it was just amazing experience to see how or to hear, because I could see. I forget that I could see them. You guys can, but just to hear. I feel like you could hear the love and see it, and it was a great. I don't know much about homeschooling. I'm not sure, and I think that's why we got them on the show. I'm not sure. It's not a thing that the majority of the population of any race, I believe, is doing homeschooling, just because, parents have to work, people have to do things, and we're not really taught how to do that anyway. So I think it was a great opportunity to hear what it's like, hear what's going on. And I really liked the new ways how she due to like how I really believe in meditation and self-care and stuff like that. It was really exciting, like, to hear what she was teaching Malika. I believe that she called it mirror work. And I think it had to do with affirmations and looking in the mirror and affirming yourself and spirituality, and what she's actually teaching him Black history, which is not something that I was taught, and is something that as an adult or a young adult I'm having to go out and research myself if I want to and I have time. And there's so much that I don't know or didn't know, and the only Black history we kind of learn, which I'm sure is for everybody, is the slave trade. And it's not always the best. And I feel like my generation is kind of, from what I see on social media, is kind of sick of it. There are a lot of, especially with the media and movies, a lot of Black movies and roles in Hollywood are slave or slave based, servant based kind of films, and that's the big
offensive,
Black roles.
Offensive.
It is, because I don't tend to watch it. I've never watched like 12 Years a Slave and stuff like I don't really see the point. For me, I feel like I learned it. I'm sure there's more horrific things I don't know about, but it's not really something that I want to concern myself with. I know it's a bad time, and I think it's more about moving forward. And I think a lot of people my age are now kind of on that. I know a lot of people that just don't want to, they'll refuse to kind of watch that because we want new movies, we want new stories. And we also don't want them to be gang related as well. There's a lot of that. I know the 90s, or, good films and stuff like that. And like, but I feel like it's something different now. Let's try and get different productions and stuff happening of like to represent us. Because I think you brought up media before, and just, I know it's not just Black children, but it's young children as a whole, just like to show us to what we're doing, what we're actually like, instead of just bad, negative things. But if we go back to, I don't know, what parents could do, I always think like last week's show was another one. I think I learned a lot, or like agreed with a lot of what Dalian said last week, and I really enjoyed what he had to say, and I'm excited to hear more. Parents, so what he said was there's a lot of tips for students and parents, which I feel like I could have used when I was a student. And what was important, I feel like Demotivator also said even a couple minutes ago, is just to make sure that parents kind of be proactive in education, what we're doing for our children. And in the case, I know that Dalian gave an example of actually going online, checking out the website. What is your school doing? How are they doing it? How can you get yourself involved, looking for what's in the syllabus, helping your child? I feel like that's something that my mum kind of did on her own. I'm not sure how many schools, as he said, kind of push for, like, just, I don't know. I haven't been to school for a minute now, so I'm not really sure how they work. But it's just, I would assume that they give topics to kids. My mum always used to tell me to go actually to the teacher myself and ask them what's going to be in the syllabus and what topics are going to be in there, so I can do it and revise at home. Or she got me and my brother a maths tutor, because that was something that we're kind of struggling with. So it's something that we always had to keep on top of, and she made sure she knew the topics and what we're revising, what we knew. And I feel like I think that's something that every parent can do. It's not a massive thing. I don't feel like it's going out of way. I think Dalian's even said, those things will take 5 minutes just to go online, especially if it's online, because I'm not sure if it was online when I was at school. My mum made me go to a teacher, and I couldn't come back home without the topics. I was getting in trouble.
No, I wonder, Lady Chelsea, is that the discipline that Dalian spoke about last week? Elder Dalian spoke about last week.
I think that was something we did want to continue to talk about as well. The discipline, I think that was more the discipline of, I suppose both of us, but it's just, how kids can be. We're probably not, our first thought is let's get the list of topics for every single subject. I have to talk to a teacher and ask for things. Oh my gosh. So I understand.
Okay, but we've got to make sure we keep hearing you there, Lady Chelsea.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so, now?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Just keep protecting your voice. That's okay.
Okay, sorry. I was just talking and I forgot. I forgot. Sorry, but So I understand. I think discipline on both sides with that. So with children, like actually doing that, and then parents actually go on the web. I think going on the website is a big thing. A lot of information, I'm sure, is there, and I'm sure teachers can't turn you away. If you're asking for topics and asking for help and stuff like that, it's their job, whether they like or not. And hopefully the teachers where your children are going are good and want to help you, and that would be helpful. But I think discipline's a big thing, especially for education. My brother's going through his GCSEs now, and with COVID, it's been a bit of a struggle, and then he's got a bit of anxiety and stuff like that. So it has been it's been a bit difficult to kind of get him back on track sometimes. But I know because he cares about his education and what he wants to do, he is pushing forward, and something that we're trying to look for new ways to kind of motivate him, which I feel like every child's kind of like suffer with. I'm not sure what they're doing with the exams. I've forgotten I haven't checked the news to see if they're going ahead or not. But
hold on there, it is interesting because I've spoken to numerous parents, I must say.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
I know, and I always ask this question, and it's interesting the reaction. We talk about it here, part of his health messages.
Yeah.
Do you give your child an opportunity, or do you sit down and just be calm?
Yeah.
Just calm.
Yeah.
Just sit down. I tried it with one family, social distancing, of course.
Yeah.
And we all sat down, 4 of us. I said, okay, let's sit down. Let's be calm for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And let me assure you, I got the family to sit down and just calm. We sit on the floor. We sat on the floor, mind you.
Oh, okay.
In a circle.
Yeah.
I said, before we do this, because there's so much tension when I came into that into their home. Oh gosh. But now that I got to sit down in a circle for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The child wanted to fiddle and fiddle, but because because I'm a counsellor, and so on, he's looking at me like this with his eyes wide open, But I said, now time for you. His name was Daniel. I said, Daniel, you need to close your eyes now. We're just going to be calm. He was calm for 10 minutes without fidgeting.
Okay.
And let me say that, gosh. Following the 10 minutes calmness, we started to interact. He was having trouble adjusting to the remote platform, of course.
Yeah.
So what's the real problem with you receiving a lesson through the computer? He said, it's not real. I said, well, what is real? Well, you're real, he said. That's not real. I said, but you play computer games, did you? Is that no? But you learn how to play it, yes. So you learned, yes. This is no different. View it like a computer game, but you're learning from.
Yeah.
But it's a bit boring, but you've got to make it interesting. It's your responsibility to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Now, he's 13, not 14.
Okay.
13.
Yeah.
And that's the age I remember myself, you see. Oh,
yeah.
my God. It was very, very easy compared to myself at that age.
Okay.
I can tell you. I was very, very demanding. But I enjoyed reading.
Okay.
I enjoyed studying, you see. It's slightly different, but but this young man, incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
He can see into subjects, concepts which I find difficult to.
Okay. Yeah.
Incredible intelligence, But once he recognized it was his responsibility to get the most out of each lesson. Sometimes they were not challenging, I must say. I said, well, you extend yourself in that case then.
Yeah.
Look, I showed him where the national curriculum is. And, you go to the Department of Education website. Okay, you can see the syllabus. You can see the resources that are supposed to support those syllabuses. I said, well, do your own research in that case, then.
Yeah.
Show the teacher you could be ahead rather than being taught at the same pace. Show the teacher you could do that. He said, "Oh, can I do that?" I said, "Yes, you can." As Obama would have said.
Yes,
you can.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, counselor. Well, you call me counselor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me show me you can. And that was it. His mother said he's now glued to the computer.
Really? Oh, that's really good.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hope to get him to speak. In fact, I hope he's
Yeah, that would
listening
be
right
good.
now.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening, but I
Yeah.
really want to engage him. Because once he was able to take responsibility and accepted responsibility, and we had confidence in his abilities, it was transformed. His attitude was transformed. His mother says now she has to suggest to him that maybe you've been on the computer for 12 hours straight.
Oh,
Maybe you should give yourself
have a break.
He said, no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
That's what the counselor said. I'm enjoying it. And she says, well, this is now the other extreme, but it's the right extreme. He's now absorbing knowledge at a rate that she and I are astonished by.
Okay.
And it's young people like that, like young Malachi.
Yeah.
As Marcus Garvey said, that we will create a civilization that will transform and astonish the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I know you've got some questions.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So, yes.
To follow on from last week, and we note that we didn't receive any young calling in. Okay.
No.
Now, before Lady Chelsea gives out the questions, and these are Malachi's questions. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to give out the number slowly. So mums and dads who are listening, guardians who are listening, have your sons and daughters listening. And in a moment, Lady Chelsea will give out the rules. But first of all, I'll give out the number, the studio number. It's 0203 885 2179. I repeat that, put it straight into your phone. 0203 885 2179. You'll be asked to enter a PIN number. So the PIN number is 39957277116, followed by the ash sign. Okay, that's the vertical and horizontal symbol on your keypad. Okay, and the ones who are clever will know that if you put in the telephone number and then put a pause in your phone and then enter the PIN number, your phone thereafter will auto dial that number, so you don't need to remember it. It's auto dial. Okay, over to you, Lady Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to say two questions. The first question I'm going to say. Oh, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Voice, that's okay.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. So the first question I'm going to say is just for under 10s. So this is for under 10s, and the question is, what does Kemet mean? So that is, what does Kemet mean? So that question is for under 10s. Now, this second question
say it again, please. I didn't quite get that question. Make sure I've got it. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. This is for under 10s. And the question is, what does Kemet mean? What does Kemet mean? And that's for under 10s. Now, the second question is for children 11 to 16. And the question is, at what age did Tutankhamun die? So, at what age did Tutankhamun die? And that question is for 11 to 16-year-olds.
Beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. Right. So those are the questions. So mums and dads, sons and daughters, boys and girls. If you're listening, this can be our second week in trying, but I'm sure there are parents listening at the moment. Okay.
Okay.
And the questions are, well, there might be challenging, you know.
A little, yeah, no, I don't know the answer. I wouldn't know.
I suppose it's possible for the youngsters to Google the answers, I suspect.
Yeah, you told them.
I know, I should have said that. I know.
You ruined it. It's first come, first serve, I suppose. But in case, I'm not sure if I said, but in case that is to win the book that Malachi wrote, The Tale of the Adventurous Boy King. In case I didn't say before, I'm not sure. But that is it's the book that Malachi wrote, and that is the prize.
Okay. That's great, and that I will handle. What I'm going to do now, now that those questions are now out there again, we want to positively encourage parents to call. And have I got someone on the line? Let's see, got someone on the line. Have I got someone with number ending 8201? You're currently muted. 8201. Nope. Okay. That person is still muted. Ending. I say again, 8201. I thought that was someone's keen to get in there.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Okay. So let's just talk about other interesting people that young people who we should give note to.
Okay.
I'm trying to recall the name of that poet laureate in the US, young poet laureate who spoke at the Biden inauguration.
Oh, yes.
What's her name? Was it Amanda or something? Was it Amanda? Someone maybe can call in and tell us.
I cannot remember.
Amanda Gorman, I think it was. Yes, Amanda Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, I listened to her with such affection. Her poetic prose were outstanding, I must say. And I've got to find out about copyright, but I'd like to recite that poem on the show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a further example of the inspiration that comes from parents to their children, you know. And I watched a CNN interview with her afterwards. And, you know, I felt a small tear came to my eyes. I thought, wow, gosh, what a wonderful person, truly inspired. And she used poetry as a way of expressing herself, you know. And to become a poet laureate, in other words, a pinnacle, is truly interesting.
Yeah.
And it is something we need to think about, how we promote poetry. Particularly, I'm okay with girls. Girls are not, there's no shyness with girls. I would encourage poetry among boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. No,
I would encourage poetry amongst boys. Yeah. To encourage young boys to express themselves through their words, you know?
Yes.
It'd be really interesting. You know, boys are often so encouraged to be strong and manly and fearless and can't feel pain and all that.
Yeah, lack of
But often many women don't realize that when you encourage boys to behave that way, they behave that way as men.
Yes.
And become detached and aloof and, you know, emotionally, you know.
Deprived or,
You understand, huh?
Yes, I understand.
I know you're going to talk about that. Okay. But if we want upstanding, well-balanced, engaging, truly lovable men, they are usually that as boys.
Yes,
you know?
Yes,
indeed.
Definitely. Yeah? Yes,
So I say to mothers, of course, fathers, we need to think about the child, not as a child, but what they'll become, young men and young women. And what are the values that we want of them, you know? And we, from Sister Segment, Malachi's mother, when she spoke about Malachi, and he's sitting right there alongside her. when I used the term young man, I said, and I had to correct myself because sometimes parents don't want me to say that. And I said, "Oh, I hope that's okay." And Malachi looked up right into her eye like this, you know.
Yeah.
And he was taking every word his mother said. He said, "Yes." No, he says, "No. He is a young man.
Yeah.
Our prince." Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
You can only feel a certain pride with that, you know?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I watched his expression change,
Yeah.
form, you know? He
Yeah.
felt, you know, you could feel him
Yeah.
just going out, you know, he felt truly
Yeah,
proud
the
of himself.
praise.
And
Yeah.
even though we're talking about him, he didn't get big-headed.
No, he didn't.
No,
He's humble.
he remained
Yeah.
calm,
Yeah.
cool, calm. So you could tell his mother's gone through those calm moments with him and allowed him that self-discipline, develop that self-discipline.
Yeah. But I think that's sort of something that, like, what you're talking about, not maybe not a solution, but just a way of doing, just like if you speak, especially, I mean, he is a young man. He'll be, technically an adult in 4 years, whenever his birthday is. So it's just like, I think when you allow children to accept what they will become and not make them maybe shy away from it, I think that's something that maybe could help.
Thank you. And as I said, it is quite instructive. It is quite instructive. And we need to think about parenting, which is what the next segment will look at. From an African-centric point of view, of course. As you know, we invited Elder Dalian to come back to speak to us again.
Yes, yeah.
It was quite clear from last week's show that we navigated an hour so quickly.
Yeah.
There was much that was unsaid. So the first part one, of course, focused on how to support your child through education, through school, college, and university. Okay, what are the tips you would share for parents and tips for children, young people? And you could tell there was a wealth of information that he had to share with us. But as important, we started to discuss the focus on ourselves as a people, the lessons we've learned in the past, and using those lessons, that knowledge, to bring to bear on the current situation. Okay, and it was at that point I realised that there's so much here that we need to discuss. And so, of course, we invited him back for part 2. Okay. And this time we want to tackle it from a truly African-centric point of view and give promotion to his website, Ancestral Voices. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, those of you who are in receipt of the media from ourselves will know how to access that website. It is www.ancestralvoices.co.uk, Ancestral Voices with an S at the end, .co.uk. And that website has many interesting articles and provide genuine guidance for our peoples to
definitely
acquire the inspiration where that's necessary, that we will share with our friends, families, but more importantly, our children.
Yeah.
And it was quite obvious that we needed to have him back again. So I know that he'll be joining us imminently.
Okay.
And we look forward to conducting a further dialogue with him. What I'm going to do is just hand back over to you, and you tell us, if I may, Lady Chelsea.
Okay.
Well, I know you've had a chance to look at some of the Ancestral Voices website.
Yeah, no, it's really informative. There's a lot. I couldn't get through all of it. But
Just tell us what you've been able to get through pending Elder Dalian's arrival. Continue.
Yeah, so from the link, that you've just described, so to Ancestral Voices, the first page is just like lots of topics. For example, like it was about Vision of 2020, destructing perceptions, leadership. Those kind of like discussions that he's having, spirituality, like African, like set African centric things. It was like really informative. And as you said last week, you looked at the about page, and I took it upon myself to kind of do the same. And yeah, it was a lovely picture of him and his wife there, and a little paragraph.
A wonderful picture,
wife.
isn't it? Yeah.
It was really nice. It
Lovely
was
picture. Him,
it's
his
very
wife
nice.
in embrace, absolutely lovely picture.
Yeah. And I think it was good to like have a face to the website and what they were doing and who's doing it and spreading the information, which is a lot of information. There's sort of a lot of books and that like you can buy. So I believe you can buy it straight from there about every single topic they're talking about and sharing information about. And they talked about themselves and what they did, being in teaching and videography and media and spreading the word. And it was really good. I want to spend a bit more time on it. I'd suggest that everyone that has the link and what we've just said, so it's ancestralvoices.co.uk, go in there and have a look. I think it's a really, really good place to start just teaching yourself. I think it's a lot of good information on here. I was really surprised, really, and it was just really organized stuff. Like, there's a lot of things. I believe there was something on witchcraft as well and Wakanda as well, which I haven't read, but it's just like the titles are very, very interesting. There was one that I was looking at the most, was probably just a recommended reading. It has like a list of books, which I believe are all like Afrocentric books about what they sorry I lost my train of thought. Sorry, a lot of recommended reading there about culture, about spirituality there. And no, I believe that everyone should go and have a look. It's a really good website.
Thank you. And again, what you're emphasising is that it's a remarkable resource and provides really good instruction. Yeah.
Yes.
And I trust that those of you who will listen to Elder Dalian shortly and visit the website will benefit from that experience. Will benefit from that experience. I believe Dalian has arrived. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just include him in our call. And there you are. If I just move you across. So you're big on the screen. There you are. How are you this fine morning? How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Gosh.
Martin, good to be here.
It's a pleasure. You'd have heard what we said. And I've got to say to you, your website is truly inspirational. I wish I'd been able to produce such a wonderful piece of work. Truly wonderful.
You're too kind every time.
Oh, no. Not kind. I'm stating a fact. And I would wish to positively encourage listeners to go to the website, download the initial samples, but most certainly purchase what's available. They're good prices, but I'm going to let you, Elder Dalian, to expand upon it yourself, because I'm truly blown away. And just keep in mind that on this occasion, to follow on from our last week's show, we want to extend last week's show because, of course, we're discussing parenting. Okay? And as you would have heard, if you have an inspired parent, the likelihood you have an inspired child, son
Absolutely.
or daughter. Yeah, without child. But there are many pressures on parents, of course. Work, just living is pressureful, Forget about even working. The relationship with men or women is indeed a challenge, Why myself and Lady Chelsea here can point to a wonderful picture, and I said it last week, forgive me for saying it. It's so rarely on our website produced by our people where you see a wonderful couple who are obviously in love. We need to see that more often. Is that true? You know?
Yeah.
A wonderful couple in love. You know, we need to see it more often. I know that many women I encounter in my constituency who live by themselves with their children, you know. Gosh, they want love. Their children absolutely want love. That's the first ingredient. And all the other things, therefore, just follow on, you know. But love has to be the starting point. And what when I see in your website, just simply love.
Beautiful. Well, I guess the only thing I can add to that, Elder Martin, is the fact that perhaps, you know, when we even use the word love, and we kind of tend to use it, for me, it seems a lot of people use it quite loosely and think of love as solely an emotion, a feeling, you know. And so what we fail to appreciate is that feelings change. So if your only concept of love is stuck in, what I would say Hollywood version of what love would be, when your feelings change, you don't recognize yourself in that space anymore. Whereas love is an action. You know, how I've experienced it from how I was raised, I guess how myself and my wife have put it together to allow us to keep creating and continue doing what we're doing is the realization that first and foremost, what we call love is an action. You show it, and it comes or is shown in the caring, is shown in the way we provide for each other, and is shown in the way we support each other. So at its very core, really, that concept of love is first and foremost an action. It needs to be expressed, not just one that you buy, I don't know, chocolates or flowers on Valentine's Day, or you've even verbally asserted it, and that is love, you know. So there is the understanding of a broadening of our perspective, if you will, you know.
Thank you. Elder Dalian, I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to ask the engineer if the engineer could just pause the program. Well, what we want to do is just improve the sound quality. I've just sent to your mobile an alternative link to the show. Okay.
Sure.
Could you please use that link and then come back in again? Okay.
Absolutely, no problem.
Okay. And so it'll be audio only on this occasion. We just got an issue with the sound quality apparently for the internet apparently. So I just sent it to your phone. So I'm going to ask the engineer to play some music, and if you could reconnect using that facility.
Fantastic. I'll do that. Okay, no problem.
Thank you. And whilst that's happening, we just want to continue to improve the quality of these shows. And each week we'll continue to improve all aspects of the show. And as we continue to perfect what we do, we'll be better able to provide excellent communication service to the audience. So I'm grateful for Elder Dalian, and then that'll be fine. Yes. So I'll give out the number to dial, which is 0203. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so whilst that's happening, we'll wait for Elder Dalian to reconnect, and hopefully that will be fine. And I hope that we can reconnect them. There we go. And let's try it again. They'll be with us in a second. What it is, we just had some sound issues. Just want to make sure we get that right. And these are always experiences for us, but we will continue to improve the transmission. We want to make sure that we want to make sure that we get this right. need to get this right. And he'll be with us in a few moments. And once he returns, then we can continue with the interview. And I'm grateful for those who are listening. We've indicated that we want to continue to improve our sound quality. But I gather that the transmission via Facebook and YouTube continues without any problems. I'm grateful for that as well. It's all good, Lady Chelsea.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yes, yeah.
We just want to make sure that we get Elder Dalian's online, and it'll be here in a few seconds, I believe.
Okay.
And we should be ready. But it was interesting what he was saying, and my flippant use of the term love. It just goes to show that we can continue to learn. Elder Dalian, are you with us now? Excellent. And I can just ask you just to keep projecting your voice, or just turn up the volume just to make sure that my engineer is satisfied with the sound quality. Okay. It should be on your device option to turn up the volume, I would imagine. Excellent. That's fine in that case. That's fine. Yep, that's fine. I'm okay with that now. Thank you very much. So can I just ask you just elaborate further on the use of that term love?
Yeah. Or the point I was making about that the term love is not just theoretical. It's not just an idea and a concept that is stuck in our head, so to speak, or a way that we feel about the person. And because exactly as you said, based on the kind of day you have at work and other interactions that you have, your feelings can change. And this is not the only foundation of which to build a solid relationship. If it's just based solely on devotion. In the manner in which I was raised, and I was interested in raised in a single parent home. But one of the things that became abundantly clear in the way be it my mom raised us and just the community at large, because my family to be a Ghana, not here. So there's a different type of, if you want to call it, social support system. But then, even in that, what was very clear is the fact that what we call love needs first and foremost to be an action. And it's that action of compassion, it's that action of caring, it's that action of providing. And in most cases, it's also the action of sacrificing for your child and realizing, I guess, just how important the child, or even, family that you have, but then the child being the future of that family that you, there has to be sacrifices made. And I think in some cases we've lost a bit of I guess, some of these attitudes, and it's part of the problem. But obviously, the issue is way bigger than that. But
absolutely.
The first and most important thing is we should let our love be a bit. It needs to be an action, because that's how we feel this idea. That's it.
I totally understand. Wow, truly inspired. Truly inspired. Now then, I'm receiving messages. I should have gone through the introductions again. There's the presumption that the audience know who you are. Can I just ask you to spend a minute? I'm really sorry, Elder. Can you just summarize who you are, your name and so on, just to satisfy some of our listeners who continue to grow?
I am a freelance academic researcher and then co-founder of an initiative called Ancestral Voices, which deals with the stigmatization and preservation of African cosmology and the practices. It's an initiative I set up with my wife, Verona, in 20, the year 2010. That's when we first started the
Thank you. That's I'm 100% with you on this, and as you can appreciate, the purpose of this week's show it is clearly to continue to evolve our conversation of last week, towards an African peoples and identifying our spiritual strength, and a direct correlation with our motivation to effect change in our social economic conditions. Okay. And of course, it's manifest in how we prepare our children for life here in the big wide world. Okay. So let me just take this further in that case. So the role of parents and families to realize their child's potential would, of course, determine the African community's long-term success, and therefore supporting parents and families is therefore strategically essential. Now, my first question to you is this. What role can a family support network perform to promote spiritual awareness and practice?
Yes, I will go and answer that question. Because I've been doing this work for this length of time,
Yes.
I'm also very aware of general misperceptions and conceptions around this topic. And so before I even attempt to answer your question, I think it's very useful that I frame or put this topic into the right context so that your listeners themselves can first of all have an accurate and sincere appreciation of the important role what we will call African cosmologies play in all our lives. And because most of your listeners will know it under maybe three terms. That it's either Obia, or it's Voodoo, or it's some devil worship. These are the misunderstandings that the colonial education has left in our mind. And so I understand that there is this barrier that we first need to overcome before most of us will even start to understand the topic. Okay? So I just want to put a little caveat, if you will, before I get into it. To actually understand what role it always plays for non-even enslaved Black or African people, or just African people in general. So we understand how we can bamboozle into thinking that is not for us. So I'm just going to do a little quick reading from a book called Practice the Book, the story of an Atlantic slave war, written by Harvard professor called Vincent Brown. And Taki, you may know, is a folklore hero from Jamaica.
Yes.
And he's one of his revolts is one of the most well-known revolts against British imperialism and the transatlantic trade. So he's quite a strong practice the Kujo, the land. Right now, in this book, I'm going to read what this Harvard professor mentions about what European historians themselves wrote about the impact of, what we can call opium or African spirituality on Africans and why there was a need for it to be misrepresented the way it has been so that now most of us are fearful of it. So I will read from the book Static Revolt, page 141. The author first mentioned that Obia practitioners helped the rebel band to solidify their unity. Spiritual counselors were crucial to rebel politics. The 18th century historian Edward Long describes Obia as a sort of witchcraft of most extensive influence. The authority which sat possessed over slaves was sometimes very successfully employed in keeping them in subordination to their chiefs. Now, this author then goes on to talk about especially tax revolt, because Jamaica had a lot of rebellions against enslavement.
Yes.
And interestingly, it's actually only in Haiti where Vodou, which is basically an extension of what we can miscall Obia, is. It formed a nation. So we can see across the whole of the Caribbean and the Americas the role African spiritual practices play. Now, the author then goes on to say this, and this is very key. He says the colonists now knew one important source of the rebels' morale and fortitude, which they would work to break in the coming days. This is how they destroyed Turkey's revolt, effectively. They found who his Obia counselor was and publicly executed. And after that, Turkey, this ancestor, became so demoralized he didn't even want to continue his struggle anymore. Now, why do I say all of this, Elder Martin? To first give us the context of why there's so much effort put into painting African spirituality with such a negative brush that as of now, most black people fear to go anywhere near it. In order to pray for you, this has nothing to do with whether it's somebody is this notion of devil this or evil this. But it's because it wasn't the Africans were so concerned to fight against their own oppression. So yeah, what they're looking at is political maneuvering.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with anything to do with moral or religion. If you want to Africans with source of strength, to fight for their liberation. To give them a different paradigm whereby they really want to be willing slaves, not the benefits. So that we develop a machine that actually supports so much that today when we black people hear of it, what is it to shake and be afraid?
Yes.
So we understand why we are so quote unquote powerless, or rather, being able to affect things in our own community. Yeah. We ourselves now are willing to do something that we need. So automatically, if you can just ask the question for me again. So I think within that cornerstone, when we start talking, people will understand better even what I have to say.
Wow. Very good. Very good. And of course, you are, of course, identifying the experience of living in a completely different cultural setting, and one that has been involved in providing a view of our peoples, our ancestors, that is so negative, to have enacted significant psychological and mental pain, caused great scars and harm. Yeah. So I hear you. I hear you. And this dialogue for some is uncomfortable, despite the fact it defies common sense for it to be uncomfortable. This is, yeah, I hear you. I totally understand. So I'm going to ask the question again, and I hope this time you can, now you've properly contextualized my question, we can go straight into a response. What role can the family support network perform to promote spiritual awareness and practice?
Yes, there's African proverb, it says, a village to raise a child. I will say the role that family and social, yeah, because we have to attend to social issues, not just family. And not all of us now can trace to a grandparent or a great grandparent like we can possibly could. Some of our elders are even dying of even quicker than their parents.
Yes.
Or rather, the parents are dying before even the young ones. So our whole family structures have changed somewhat. But the role is very key out of the market. This is why we have to develop Yes, to help your child to attain and to have an alternative space where learning occurs, where there might not be a teacher that's picking up on them, reinforcing all the negatives about them, because what that support network gives us all, Elder Martin, first of all, the feeling of belonging.
Yes.
We know that we're part of something bigger. Okay, and also we know that we can seek support from this wide network. Yes, we can draw on the expertise of others to learn what we do not know. So the importance of a family and social support network, the national is for me very essential. And we have to look at different ways in which we can keep the spirit of this alive. What that means is implemented where there will be no funding in those days. We have to start looking at alternative ways where we can implement such initiatives without having to rely on government funding.
Yes.
So some of these things are used as political tools so that we can the next to the right or wherever we want to go. And we have to understand that we have to create the type of institutions and structures that can benefit us as a community. There is a group of people who have or are interested in certain way or have a certain message. Yes, it's very important. That is my goal.
Thank you. I'm going to hand over to Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, so hi. Just following off that question. So I've looked at your website and it's got a lot of like fascinating articles.
Sorry, Lady Chelsea, I'm going to ask you, could you just speak closer to your microphone? Sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Hello, can you hear me now?
That's better. Keep projecting your
Okay,
voice.
sorry. Okay, so Dalian, on your website, it's a lot of really great, like fascinating articles and books about African spirituality. I just want to know if you could give like top recommendations to the listeners seeking to heighten their awareness of higher spiritual self. Is there any books that you could recommend for someone new in this topic?
Very bad. I can't.
Ah, right.
Ahead with the word recommendation.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if I can solve it. Lady Chelsea, could you just repeat it? And I'm going to make some adjustments here at my end. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi. I just wanted to know if there was any books you could recommend or articles off of your website that you could recommend to the listeners or audience who would want to heighten their spiritual awareness.
Yes. Thank you, Lady Chelsea. I heard that very clearly.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So I hope you can hear me very clearly.
We can, yes.
Okay. So that on our website, we have a list of free articles for any learner. So what I'm going to give are 5 top recommendations, if you will, because they are free resources. And I've tried to balance them in such a way that it will be useful for, should we say, someone who's totally new to African cosmology, or someone who might even have some knowledge of. The first one is actually a video essay. It's called Sacred Science and Coronavirus. And the reason why I'm recommending this, the first off, is that this video teaches you how to use an African spiritual principle known as the principle of mentalism to help people maintain the right type of consciousness and positive attitude in these stressful times. Because it's not only just this pathogen that is reportedly killing people, it is also the mental and psychological stress that people are having to go under in totally changing their lifestyle. So this video gives you some good tips from the African spiritual perspective on how you can use this principle to help you deal with these times. Okay? So that's the first recommendation there. The video essay is called Secret Science and Coronavirus. So when you go on our website under the article tab, you will find that there. The second one, and this is very important for those who are experiencing spiritual phenomena and are not clear on it, it's called Keep Seeing Repetitive Numbers. because there are various ways in which we encounter spiritual, I would say, communication or messages on a daily basis, and we're not aware. And one of these things manifests itself in seeing repetitive numbers over and over again. Okay, so this article gives you a breakdown of how you can start comprehending these spiritual messages that you experience. You know, it's for any you would have experienced this phenomenon. You see on your phone, on a clock, or elsewhere. And the third article.
Forgive me, forgive me, my elder. Just that's an interesting one. Repetitive numbers. This is where you're saying by coincidence you see the same number in different places. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I mean is when you look at the clock, Elder Martin, for instance, you see that the time says 15:15.
Yes.
15 minutes past 3. Yes. Or you look at the clock and then it says 11 minutes past 11. Or 9 minutes past 9. All of these are resonances, and energetic resonances that give us messages. And once we start to understand the philosophy, we actually can understand what message these instances where we see these numbers also connotate. And because there's reasons why you saw that number in that specific moment.
Yes.
And when the whole day you never have.
Yes.
So the article tries to help you to peel apart the layers of your mind and your experiences and how that relates to you seeing these numbers, repetitive numbers, in that moment.
Fascinating.
So those are the repetitive numbers I'm talking about. The 1111, the 1010, the 99, the 1515. Because the times you see them, you will find that something is going on in your life that is progressing. This is the sign.
Powerful, powerful. And your third one.
Yes, the third one is called Amen and Amin, paying homage to African Ashe. This is a very important article because it expands the reader's mind on some of the words that they find in their own religion. The first one being the word Amen. And then obviously the Muslims, because Islam comes after Christianity and it borrows a lot from Christianity. So Amen becomes Amin for the Muslims. However, the word Amen itself is a reference to an African deity. And in the Nile Valley or Asian Kemet, the supreme deity that is born from its mother, because in African spiritual cosmology, what most people call God is not just a man who's sitting in a place wearing all white that looks like the grandfather of Tony Blair or somebody like that. It's about a balance of energy. Okay? So, Amen is the name of an Egyptian supreme deity called Amen-Ra. Yeah? So you can see the appellation of the word Amen and Ra.
Yes.
And it actually refers to the symbology of the sun and the energy that gives us to maintain life in this world. Okay? And that concept of having this.
Can I ask you, please, my elder, forgive me for interrupting. Can I ask you just to say that bit again? It's a pretty powerful statement. You said it almost flippantly, if I may say so. That's a pretty powerful statement. At the end of most prayers here in this country, Amen, that's the closing word. So can I just ask you to just give us, just say it again what you've just said, because that's really very powerful, really powerful.
All right, Elder Martin. So, Amen and Amin, the Muslim version, are from the title that the ancient black Egyptians gave to the masculine representation of the concept of God. Because in African tradition, what we call God is the balance of two energies, the feminine energy and the masculine.
Mahat.
Exactly like how we create children.
Yes.
And the masculine deity is called Amen Ra. The Ra refers to the energy of the sun. And Amin refers to the fact that this aspect of this deity is invisible to the eye. So every time a Christian says amen, that's who you're calling. You're calling an African deity. But because history is so distorted, most of us don't know it. And amen, this invisible energy is also reflected in the African spiritual understanding that we are spiritual beings.
Indeed.
Having a human experience.
Indeed.
So we all possess this energy called Ashe or Amen. Because Amen, Ashe, is the Yoruba word for this concept that the ancient Egyptians, I guess, called Amen or Amen. The reflection of this energy that animates or brings things into being. Yeah.
Powerful.
So
Powerful.
you find that now a lot of black or African people are now using the word Ashe at the end of their statement because it's a statement of affirmation.
Yes.
And the amen that we find in Christianity is borrowed from this now value concept. Yeah? And all it refers to is the animating spark, the animating energy that gives us consciousness and life. Yeah?
This
So
is truly
that's
powerful.
Article, the third one. Yeah. The fourth article that I will give is called She is God. And again, the reason why I recommend this article is that our understanding of religion in certain contexts encourages the patriarchy, it encourages misogyny, it encourages all aspects of mistreatment of women. Because when you conceive of God as solely a man, then in a sense you give all the benefits to a man. Yeah, you extend that thinking of this supreme deity to say, okay, yes, the man lords over the woman. So it actually helps to perpetuate a lack of respect in some degrees, and it's not all men who do it. Some of us are more sensible than others, you know, or think that they have dominion over the woman, and then can start mistreating her in any way that they like. Because in a religion, it's telling you that the only person that can create is a man, and he created all of us, and the woman even came secondary. Whereas when we look, and even this is beyond African spiritual traditions, when we go into indigenous systems, you find that the first conception of this concept we call God starts with the feminine principle, because it's the feminine principle that creates life. Did you understand?
Absolutely.
So the woman or the feminine is the portal through which all creation comes in. But then we also have the recognition that you still need a balance between the energies. So I would recommend that people read that article, She is God, so you can understand how, even over time, we formulated different understandings of this creative source that we all extend from.
Wonderful.
So that's that article. And then the final article is called Witchcraft, a Profitable Excuse. Yeah, witchcraft, a profitable excuse.
Right.
And what this article delves into is the fact that African spirituality continues to be used as a kind of scapegoat. It is used as a scapegoat for all the things negative that we can project about the world. And as a result, it keeps people from making concerted efforts to even understand any aspects of it. And as I just read for you, Elder Martin, at the beginning of this show, I showed you very clearly how for the British, they made Obia, which is really a form of an expression of African spirituality, into something that most black people fear. Because let's also remember, Jamaica, in per square mile, has more churches than any other Caribbean nation.
It is astonishing, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I know, yes.
Yes. So, just a little bit that I read for you and your audience, and I could speak plenty, but Jamaica had the most of the rebellion. across any island in the Caribbean. And then when you see that now we have more churches than any other nation, you can see the efforts that were made to ensure that Africans or the black people in Jamaica specifically would move away from this source that once upon a time was the one giving them their liberation. So you can see how it became a political maneuver. What this article, Witchcraft, the profitable excuse, looks at is the fact that now we have a lot of black pastors especially, whether African or diasporic, who latch onto this idea of something they call ancestral cases. And they keep talking, don't go and check out your ancestors because your ancestors, that is the only cases they left for you. But let's look at Europeans, they just 400, 500 years. And what they did to us in that time, their ancestors benefited so much, we're so limited some of those benefits today. Do they worry about ancestral care? No, they committed a genocide for over 400 years. So what we come to see is what most of these African/black pastors are now doing is they're using a fear paradigm to basically just enrich their pockets. They are not concerned really about their congregation when they start about things like, oh, be careful of ancestral cases, don't go near or discover anything about your ancestry. Because what they're also doing is pulling you away from a source of your power, a source of your identity that you need for your own self-esteem, for your own full self-understanding. Okay? And we see this because right after Taki's rebellion, by 1854, the empire had passed an act, an obia act, a law, banning the practice of any form of obia, whether it's for healing, whether it's for religious expression. Who does that?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Could you, my elder, could you just hold on just a moment? Can I ask the caller, if you just hold for a moment, I will come to you within the next minute or so. So continue, my elder. Continue, Elder Dalian.
Yes, so no, Elder Martin, this is the question that we as quote-unquote black people need to ask ourselves. Yeah, and even when we look at Islam and with all the bombings we've had over here, nobody is banned Islam. But African spirituality was such a thorn in the British's aim to rule the world that they made a law to ban what effectively they perceived as only a religion.
Yes.
Yes, we have to really ask ourselves these questions. How do these things come about, and does it not make clear to us the lies at play? Because who banned the religion? Who makes the whole law to ban the religion? And as I read for you, the historians had already identified. If we want to enslave these Africans and get them to do everything we want, you have to remove this aspect of their culture.
Yes.
Yeah, I've given evidence. Don't listen to me. This is no opinion. I've also shown you the evidence. Because these are the words of the Englishmen themselves.
Yes.
It's not mine, right? It states you very clearly. If we want to really subjugate these people, because this thing has too much influence, let's ban it. Then we see them write the law. And then today, Jamaica has more churches than anyone in the Caribbean.
Yes.
We should be able to see this link. This is political maneuvering.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with evil or negative or anything to do with the devil.
No.
Because in African spirituality, there is no
concept
of the devil.
Say that again, my elder. Say that again.
Let's read it there, Elder Martin.
No, I was going to ask you just to say what you said about the devil, so-called, again, just so we're clear. What did you say just now?
There is no being like the devil or Lucifer or Satan or whatever the name that you want to call it. This deity that they say is the creation of the Most High that has his own domain called hell, that you drag people to that place who do not live a so-called moral or righteous life. That entity doesn't exist in African spirituality at all. The concept of human beings being able to do evil, oh, absolutely. But then that's you being or doing antisocial acts. That's not an entity that has its own space called hell. No, they're totally different things. Yeah? But then, this is what the label that has been used to attempt to African spirituality. So that most people say, oh, that's a devil worship stuff. How can it be devil worship when the people don't have the concept of that devil? So it is up to us, Elder Martin, in this century, in this generation, to really start interrogating many things we take for granted.
Yes, yes.
Yeah? I'm not slicing and I'm not preaching to anybody because in African spirituality, nobody needs to convert anybody.
No.
All I'm asking you is to exercise some elements of common sense.
Absolutely.
Look at the history and understand why you have this understanding today. And if indeed this understanding is valid, or rather, if you're operating under a falsified conscience, meaning your whole mind doesn't belong to you. Everything in there has been created and put there, and so that we perpetuate all these negative actions. We can't keep relationships together. Our youth are finding themselves at the mercy of a system that keeps decriminalizing them. What happened to our support network? That if we compare to the early Windrush generation that came over, how did that deteriorate so quickly? Yeah? How did we go from Jamaica being a beacon in the Caribbean?
My elder? Oh, I'm just conscious of time. And I could listen to you all day. I don't need to say a word. And I love talking. Be assured. I want to say, first of all, praise Jah. Rastafari. Ashe. Asheo. Oh, empowerment. This is true empowerment. I'm conscious that I've got a number of callers on the line. And I receive a regular complaint. I don't give enough time for callers. I'm usually overruled by the guests, and you've certainly overruled me. I'm truly. I might have to do a third time, but I need to go negotiate with Lady Chelsea now. But oh my gosh, this is really empowerment, and this is why I'm here on the only de-brainwashing station, Galaxy Radio. That's why I'm here, okay? Because what you just said could not be said on Nick Ferrari or these other shows. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to some of the callers. I've got a caller on the line with number ending 0111. Caller with number ending 0111. Please speak, otherwise I move.
I'm on the line.
Indeed. I wasn't up. You're the other one. You're ending with 18. But you can speak. You go ahead. And I think I know who's calling.
Right, yes, my name is Adam.
Good.
Good morning to you, everybody in the studio.
Thank you.
Hello.
The guests and the listeners. I'd just like to ask the brother who's speaking about African spirituality. I've been working on looking at the laws of Ma'at for a number of years now, and I'm just wondering, does the brother see the laws of Ma'at as being synonymous with his understanding of African spirituality?
Yeah, okay.
Good morning to you, brother.
Good morning.
And thank you very much. Absolutely. The laws of Ma'at is more than synonymous. It's an echo.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm controlling it. Go ahead. Don't worry. Continue.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So the law of Ma'at falls firmly within the African spiritual corpus. Absolutely.
Excellent.
And there are many scholars who even show very clearly, you might want to refer to the likes of Anthony Browder, who show very clearly, or even the leader of the Osar of Society, named the full name 16 now, and that shows very clearly that what we call the laws of Ma'at is actually 10 of them were borrowed and put into the Christian what we know now as the Ten Commandments.
Right.
Yeah, but the laws of Ma'at is a minimum of 42 of them. And the other principle, brother, that I would say you should also endeavor to check out would be the what they now call the 7 Hermetic laws as well. Yes, these are all firmly within the corpus of African spirituality.
And
Okay, and so do you...
Yeah, go on.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So do you, because I do a feature on Thursday mornings on the Black Nicholson show called 42 Steps to Success. And the way that I'm trying to do this is that I'm trying to show our people that if we use these 42, what I call success principles, we can repair ourselves of the damage that's been done as a part of our enslavement. Because I truly believe that we have had our African culture taken away from us as a part of the enslavement, and then but we need to have something to reflect to act as a foundation to replace them again. And I believe that we can use the 42 laws of Mahat as the foundation, the basis for us to repair ourselves.
Thank you, Brother Adam. Thank you, Brother Adam.
Brother, you have to tell me the show again because that sounds very interesting to me myself, and I love the concept because we have to use old technology to fix these modern problems. Even when I use the word old, it's not really old because when we go deeper into the spiritual cosmology, we can see that there's issues with this thing that we even call time, and it's not to be understood the way that you see on your watch. Anyway, I love the fact that you're using an ancestral principle system to teach us, yes, success steps today. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Your show is and
If I may, what I'll do, but Adam, I've got your number here, and of course, Elder Dalian, I'm going to connect you both up after the show. Okay, I'll connect you both up. No, not a problem. And I can assure you, Brother Adam is most certainly on the right track. Have no fear. Okay.
I love that.
Good.
Very much, and it's very much needed. Yes.
Right, thank you. Forgive me, Brother Adam. I'm just conscious I've got very limited time and I've got other callers on the line, but I can assure you I will connect you both up. I will connect you both up. Okay? Thank you, and appreciate it. Thank you very much for the call. Can I go to caller with number ending 9034? 9034. Okay, they're not speaking, huh? Okay, in that case then, the other number I've got here is 8201, number ending with 8201. 8201. Oh, wow. Maybe this...
I hope I didn't.
You did not, don't you worry. Maybe some other issue we need to figure out another time. I've got but 8 minutes. I'm not going to give out the number again because I suspect that we'll not get it completed in 8 minutes. Can I just ask you, if I may, because it's, you provided what I knew you would provide, further inspiration, okay? So I'm going to go over to a woman, okay, Lady Chelsea, because I think you and I would agree, ultimately it's our women to whom we need to have a balance, Mahat, with that balance, you know? So I've spoken a lot. Let's, Elder Chelsea, Lady Chelsea, you never know, huh? But in spirit, you know, Lady Chelsea, you never know, huh? Go on, you've heard what's been said. Go ahead, Lady Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to. Sorry, yeah, I'm speaking loud enough, right?
That's it.
Yeah,
like
I just want to know. So my family's kind of spiritual as well. Not to this depth, but I'm aware and think of God in the way I feel like you've described, and know some things a little bit about what you're talking about. I just want to know. I don't forgive me if you stated it before, but just maybe even for the audience, or just so I know where you are. How would you define spirituality? As I know, you know, some people just paint it as witchcraft, which I'm aware it's not, and are scared of it, as you have stated throughout. So just what is your definition?
Interesting question.
The sound is not clear. Can I?
Oh.
Chelsea asked me what my definition of spirituality.
That's correct.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yes. It's an excellent question in Chelsea, because very often when people think of spirituality, interestingly enough, they conflate it with religion.
Yes. Yeah.
Because religion gives you just a set principle and dogma for you to follow, with the promise of something that may come later, whether you can confirm what's to come later or not. is a whole other question. What spirituality is, though, is it's even beyond religion. So we could actually argue that an aspect of spirituality is religious in the sense that we seek and engage in communication with the divine, with what exists beyond our limited five human senses. Yes, so spirituality is a super, the way I would define it is a superstructure that infuses and connects all aspects of society.
Yes.
Yeah. And when we see this very clearly in how the African societies were organized, where even the methods for choosing the Queen Mother and the King followed a certain pattern. Yes, the spirituality was not divorced from the healing practices. Yeah, so now spirituality is part of your medical area of society. Yeah, it's spirituality that will determine the manner in which you will go to war. So then all of a sudden now it's no longer religion, is it? We're dealing with warfare and war. Yes. It's also spirituality that will determine the socialization systems in the community. So spirituality is a superstructure that looks to harmonize all aspects of what we will call a society, or a community. That's what it is. It's not just a religious expression. It is that and then some.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you to pause there. I'm just conscious that we're running out of time. Oh, you are such an attractive person, my elder. You are such an attractive person. I may have to ask you back for the third time. Well, not next week, mind you, but in the future. This is the spiritual connection. Yeah. The connection is powerful, you know. I'm reminded of Sister Segmet, Malachi's mother. My first few seconds when I was on the phone to her, I felt completely connected, you know. My gosh, this is truly powerful. Energy works. I've got about 4 minutes. I'm going to ask you, my elder, please just give us for 30 seconds, your concluding statements, please. 30 seconds.
What I can say is it's imperative to us in this age, Elder Martin, to revisit and re-explore all the ideas that we take for granted about African spirituality.
Indeed.
No, I'm not saying everybody jump up today and become an African spiritual practitioner. This is not, again, as I say, conversion or proselytizing. But what I'm saying is we need to have our own accurate understanding of what it is. Because when we reject it based on opinions we cannot verify,
that's right.
Opinions that we can see are nothing but religious attacks.
Indeed.
We are losing aspects of ourselves that we need.
Yes.
So we can never really be as powerful as we need to be.
Absolutely.
We can never have the consciousness that will prime us to enact the right actions that bring autonomy, self-autonomy, have authority over ourselves. Otherwise, we will forever be at the mercy of,
Thank you.
those who are
Thank you.
organized. That's my last statement.
Thank you. Powerful. Oh my gosh, powerful. We will have a part three. I knew this was right. I want to thank you for your contribution this morning. You have most certainly opened many third eyes. Yeah. There are many who have been awoken as a result of this. And I hope that the recording of this show will be heard again and again and will influence others to address attitudes. The indoctrination we've all been exposed to, we need to overcome this indoctrination if we are to experience growth, personal, spiritual, economic, social growth. It is essential. It's a component to our success. Thank you, my elder Dalian, and please extend our gratitude to your wife for allowing you to spend this time on a Saturday with us. Thank you. Okay.
Absolutely. No, No problem.
Thank you very much.
And you maybe Chelsea as well. You both take good care, and I'm sure we'll be in touch again.
Pleasure.
So for all your listeners, even though you mentioned it already, our website is www.ancestralvoices.co.uk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. 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 And Lady Chelsea, that concludes our program. Do you want to say your last quick statement for us?
Just I feel like everyone should check out the website, as he just said. It was a really informative person and made the show really enjoyable, and I hope people learn and maybe take the fear out of spirituality.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I believe we're in the last 15 seconds. I can now hand over to the engineers. Remember, it's not our natural resources, it's the technology that comes from natural resources. That's where our wealth resides. Remember that. Indeed, he said it. Thank you. I'll lead on to Empress Shanice. I know she will take the subject further and we'll have an incredibly powerful de-brainwashing program. It's coming up now. I say to all those who are listening, thank you for your contributions and thank you. Stay well, stay safe. But remember, you are the change makers. Praise Jah, Rastafari.